Okay, so the only new vocabulary word today is Mayflower Compact. The Mayflower Compact was an agreement the Pilgrims made before landing in New England to make and obey just and equal laws. The Pilgrims decided that before they got off the boat and started building and started claiming land, that they should come up with some laws, so they had some order. So that's the Mayflower Compact. Some of the people we're going to be learning about: John White, first of all. He was the leader of Roanoke Colony. That's the first one we're going to learn about. He was an artist. He painted many watercolors of the Roanoke Colony, the nearby area, nearby Native Americans, and maps of the area. He went back to England to get more supplies and was delayed in returning to the colony and found the colony abandoned. This is what I was talking about the other day. This is one of the great mysteries. Roanoke Colony was abandoned. He came back and found nothing but a mark on a tree, and no one knows why. However, he went back to England for supplies. So if they were running out of supplies and he was delayed, they might have moved on. There are tons of different theories, but it's one of the great mysteries. RJ?
Don't the people that didn't know who was?
They do, but this was in 1585, 1500s, late 1500s, early 1600s. So we don't have much recorded history from then. William?
Maybe Indians killed their people.
That's a theory. Yeah, that is one of the theory. One of the theories. Gage Cobb?
What if they just turned into like Indians?
Like became part of an Indian tribe?
Yeah.
That could be a theory. Yeah. Or they all died. Yeah.
Or maybe they built.
And maybe they did, but what happened to them? He just came back from his supply run and everyone was gone.
I have a theory. Maybe they built a boat to try to get back to England, but maybe like something in their ship broke and something.
That's a good theory, because then there would be no trace of them. That's a good theory. Did you guys hear what he said? Did you guys hear what he said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris?
Chris?
The mark on the tree meant that an Indian marked that territory.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. Seriously. I mean, that's kind of gross to think about and scary, but
Indians
maybe not even the Indians, maybe the colony, the people in the colony. Ella?
Indians could have captured them.
Right. Yep. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go on to the next guy. Maybe. Yeah, doesn't work so well. Okay. Hold on. It's not on. There were a lot of people named John. Okay. Captain John Smith. He trained the settlers of Jamestown to farm and work, saving the colony. Okay, this is later. Remember I told you that there will be different groups that we will study. One group will come, they will fail. Another group will come, they will learn from that and maybe fail, but do better, so they learn from each other. John Smith taught the settlers how to farm and work and save the colony. His statement that he is famous for saying is, "He that will not work will not eat." And sometimes people still say this and usually it's used in some kind of political way, but this is where it came from. John Smith said, if you don't work, you don't eat. And if you don't eat, what happens? You die. So he was really known for his grit, hard work, and kind of being a hard nose. You know what that means? Not very sympathetic. So if someone got up one day and said, "Well, I don't really feel very good. I don't think I feel like going hunting for our food today." What do you think he said?
Well, you're not eating. Get up.
You're not eating.
One at a time. Raise your hand.
Don't work, don't eat.
You don't work, you don't eat. So do you think he was a very sympathetic person? Doesn't sound like it, but he did succeed. I don't like your dad. Okay, John Rolfe. He was a Jamestown colonist. Okay, so remember right here we talked about John Smith, settlers of Jamestown. John Rolfe is a colonist in Jamestown. He harvested the first tobacco crop in 1614, turning it into a cash crop. Remember, a cash crop is one of our vocabulary words. And he married Pocahontas in 1614. Okay? Okay, Pocahontas. This is another person that we are going to study. She was the daughter of a Powhatan Native American leader. She became a Christian. She married John Rolfe in 1614, and she changed her name to Rebecca Rolfe. She helped keep peace between the English and the Powhatan people for a long time. Now, there's a Disney movie about Pocahontas. There are bits and pieces of it. Bits and pieces of it are true, and some of it is for your entertainment. So don't take that as the whole story. Okay, this is Chief, I believe it's Chief Massasoit. He was the leader of the Wampanoag in the early 1600s. He worked out a peace treaty with the Pilgrims along with Squanto and Samoset. Have you heard those names before? Have you heard those names before? Those Native American names? Okay. They were important to the success of the colony. What do you think Native Americans had to offer the colonists? Think about it before you answer. Think about it. Raise your hand and wait to be called on. What do you think the Native Americans had to offer the colonists? You need to close your Chromebook if you have a Chromebook. Ella, what do you think they had to offer? Okay, they could just give them food, but what would be better? Would it be better for someone to give you food or to show you how to grow it? Yeah. So these Native Americans that are mentioned here were really important to the success of the colony because they showed them how to live. They showed them how to live off the land. William, do you have something to say?
It's like a saying. Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he'll eat for life.
Good job. Very good. You're right. Okay, I'm going to do one more maybe. Okay, Squanto and Samoset. I'll do two more. Squanto was a Wampanoag also. He lived with the Pilgrims, teaching them how to plant corn, use fish to fertilize the soil, and how to trap wild animals. He worked out a peace treaty with the Pilgrims along with Massasoit and Samoset. You might be surprised to find that the Pilgrims didn't have very many skills. They were kind of expecting, I don't know really what they were expecting, but some of them didn't make it just because they didn't like the food they had. They came over here, they had tack and beer. They fed their children beer. Isn't that interesting? Everybody always likes to learn that. And the tack is it's like a biscuit, but it's not soft. So
It's
it's,
a really hard biscuit.
yeah, it's a really hard biscuit. So these American Indians helped them because they needed lots of help. Another reason they had so much trouble is the Pilgrims were thinking they were going to be in a warm place, and they ended up in New England, you know, the northern part. And what do you know about the northern part of the United States when it's wintertime? Wintertime, fall time. Dylan?
It's colder.
It's really cold. So they arrived in late fall and lived through a really harsh winter. So a lot of them didn't make it because of that also. Samoset is a Wampanoag leader. He spoke a little bit of English, so he was able to communicate with the Pilgrims. And because he was able to translate, he worked out a peace treaty with the Pilgrims. And then he and Squanto and Massasoit worked together. Well,
I didn't know Pocahontas was real.
she is real, yeah. She was real. Did anybody else think Pocahontas was a character?
I didn't know.
Or did you know that she was real? Didn't know? About half and half? Okay. I'll take a couple of comments and then we need to get back. I need to let you guys go back to Mrs. Harp's class.
I have a question about John Ralph. Did they, at first, did they use the tobacco to treat their cuts, or they use it like they use it now, smoking?
Probably both. That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure, but I think both.
Okay.
Anybody else? Ella?
So, in the movie, in the Disney movie, Pocahontas' sister's name was Nakoma, but I think it was something different in real life.
That's a good question. Why don't you find out and tell us tomorrow?
I don't know if I can pronounce it. It might be really hard.
Okay.
But I think it is something else.
Okay. You want to find out and tell us tomorrow?
Maybe
Okay.
not.
Will you?
Maybe.
Okay. Okay. Okay, let me think before I speak. Tomorrow is Thursday. You should be here. I don't think there's anything else going on. We've had our pictures taken. The DARE officer will not be here. You will be here. So you won't need your Chromebooks. The Chromebook is it's going to be the same thing that's up here. So I would rather you just follow along with me. I will walk around. And then if you get behind or if you need to go back, then you can get out your Chromebook and look back. Does that make sense? Because what happens when you're on your Chromebook, your mind wanders and you might open another tab and then you're not paying attention. So we don't want that. You don't need to bring any glue. You don't need to bring scissors, but I need the glue sticks and the scissors back. Mrs. Harp's class, I want you to gather your things, leave my things here, give them to Miss Kaylee, and then you may go. My class, I want you to stay seated until Mrs. Harp's class leaves.